Nah, not this week, man. Nah. Yeah. No, it's I mean, overall, I think win percentage wise, we won a lot. You know, you get two pool plays before you go into the playoffs. So feel like in a lot of the formats I played in, we was either 2-0 and 1. Well, I think we was 2-0 more than 1-1. We know, but you know, you go into there high, get a high seed. It's like 40, 50 plus teams, so you don't really get to see all the other teams. So you never know who you got in the first round. And, you know, then you still just hit a wall. Just like we, like, like our point differential going into one of the formats was like plus 50 or something like that. And then we win the first round and just like hit a wall. Then we squeak out the second round and lose in the quarters. And then we lost by 1 point in the championship in one format. It's just like, but overall, I feel like we won a lot, like game wise. But you know, playoffs is when you go home. So, and then Sunday we had a big ass storm come through in Tampa, so they had to postpone. They no, it was a rain. This was rain. Like the field was like a swimming pool. So in order to catch up on time, they canceled half the pool play. So they basically said, forget y'all pool play games. We jumped straight to bracket play. So it was
Ah,
just basically like in that format, we just playoffs started, and that's the one we lost in the semis. We lost in the semis in that one.
mm,
It
mm,
was
mm,
just
mm. Sounds a lot like
yeah,
you are Lamar Jackson.
it's a
of
lot.
flag
No, no,
football.
no, no. I got championships. I have championships.
I don't
I
know.
got rings. I can show them.
This round, this go about sounds like he was a little Lamar Jackson-y. Real solid in the regular season, but man,
Yeah,
got tight in the
yeah,
playoffs.
yeah, yeah. I don't say it. This is a team where I play defense. Taking a back seat on offense right now, so
Hey,
my defense was holding it down now.
I'm weak.
You know, offense. You know, I can't talk too much about the offense.
Hey,
No, but
that sounds like a good
it is
time.
what
That
it
sounds
is.
like it went well.
It was
Then
good.
that's dope, man.
It was. I mean,
Well,
I'm so used to championship or bust. So winning in pool play doesn't turn my needle. And I got so many wins. That's not my ultimate goal. You know, I'm not one of those guys that be like, I never won a championship. Like, no, I'm used to winning championships. So if I don't, it's always a bad weekend.
so
So
do you
it's a
think you
bad
can
weekend.
hold on to your athleticism for 3.5 more years to hit the Olympics?
Oh no 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 no! I played against a lot of those players that will
Oh,
be
I
on Team
figured. Yeah,
USA
I
this
figured.
past weekend, and it was actually pretty fun. Uh, we lost in the quarterfinals in the pro in that division, but
Ah,
but yeah, three. I mean, I could be able to play 3.5 more years. Would I be able to be on Team USA? Nah, not doing that. I'm okay.
it's like nope, nope, never mind. But so you had a performance where you know, like I said, showed up in the regular season and you got to, and one of those sounded almost exactly like Lamar's experience. One of those
Right.
where yeah, we got into the playoffs, we won a game, and then yeah, shit went a little bit, shit went a little bit different.
Sideways.
But luckily for you, you don't have to face the scrutiny of a national media, or I guess I should say lack of scrutiny from a national media. So my big thing coming away from the Ravens game, obviously the Ravens lost to the Bills. My big thing coming away from that was afterwards the when did we? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm fired up for some of these topics because I when did we get soft on talking about players, football players, quarterbacks specifically? Because it ain't just a black white thing. We can't do that. Let's not do that because people being soft on Goff, people are being soft on Lamar, and I just what has happened to why like it can't just be racism, right? It can't just be the
It,
reverse racism thing that's keeping people from properly criticizing Lamar Jackson. I'm sure you've seen some of the stuff going around where people are like Dan Orlovsky. Hey, if you criticize Lamar and the Ravens, you're a loser. What do you mean? How am I a loser if I think the guy's not good in the playoffs? If I think that you don't throw the ball 25 times a game, if I think you can't throw the ball deep consistently to win games, I think those are fair criticisms. At what point do
but
that stop
okay,
being okay?
so once again, uh, we called it. We
Oh,
always write about Lamar again for another year. We say, and then we get drugged on any social media thing we on. The only time we want to get people want to comment on us is because we suck about the Cowboys of Lamar,
yeah.
which every year it comes back to be right. But
But can I give them the
uh,
take? The take
I'm
real
so
quick for people real fast is Lamar doesn't throw the ball enough. They throw the ball 25 times a game is like his max. He's only done it whatever the handful of six, whatever it is
five,
now, five, six,
four,
seven
five
times, whatever it is. It's
times.
under 10 in an 8-year career. The next part is can't throw the ball deep. Force Lamar to throw the ball deep. He can't beat you, and he's turnover prone in the playoffs year after year after year after year after year. And people are upset about that. My fault. Go ahead.
Yeah, but my thing is, what's been annoying me is, and I didn't really get to watch the full game because I was out at the field
Yeah.
playing, so I watched what I watched with both games. But I think I watched enough of both games and seen enough highlights, things like that, replays to understand what happened. Um, why is everybody's first? This is the thing about casual football fans and people who just watch and people who don't watch in totality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we get it. Andrews had a big fumble. Andrews dropped a 2-point conversion. But why is he the reason of cost us the game? Like Lamar didn't play like he did in the first half. Like, it just it kills
Yeah.
me every time. It's like every time you bring up, oh man, that Baltimore Buffalo game. Yeah, Mark Andrews, man, he killed the game for them. I was just like, so did we not watch Lamar play, or them only running the ball 16 times when Derrick Henry usually runs the ball 22 plus, and I'm just
I mean, there's a reason for that. Lamar turned the ball over, and then they had to play
right.
comeback ball, and that's the whole point I've been making about the Ravens. Whenever it was last year, week 4 or 5, in that Colts game, and I was just watching that, going, "What is happening?" You get down, and then all of a sudden, you just forget like how to play football or something. Like it just, and ever
Yeah,
since then, I can't help but see it every time they get in this mode where it's like, hey, we need to move down the field fast. Lamar is prone to just making mistakes. I don't know if it's because it
yeah,
gets
and
tight or what it is. Nerves.
it sucks because it they're not set up to play behind because
No.
they're more run, and they don't even have the weapons to
Mm.
throw to if they get in that situation.
Yeah.
But also, they did, and then they didn't use them. That's why they never have those weapons because they get them, and then throughout the season, those weapons they just trade them or do whatever the hell they. Those weapons get hurt for no reason, like Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but then they got a quarterback when you get in that situation who, even if he had the weapons, couldn't throw you out of it.
Yeah. And that's the
Like,
problem. Yeah.
so it's like a double-edged sword. Just like we don't have the weapons, but if we did, he still can throw it out of it. So it's just like a
You're
well,
just sitting there. You have to get a lead. You have to get a 2-score lead in the first half just to be able to play your game. That doesn't seem like a formula built for success
the
against teams who
playoffs.
are waiting for you. A team
It's
like the
built for the
Bills,
regular season,
yeah, the Bills are
but it's
waiting
not
for
built for the
you.
playoffs.
The Chiefs are waiting for you. The Bengals are waiting for you. They know what you want to do. And then you add to all of that, you don't even have the defense available to fight back. This isn't the Ray Lewis defense anymore. That's the other thing. I tried so hard after watching this game to go back, look through the stats, look through the play-by-plays, watch the clips over again, and try to put some of the blame on the defense. But if you go back and look, the Bills were I'll look it up real quick. But off the top of my head, if I remember correctly, they were 5-11 on third down, which means you got more stops on third down than not. Right? Okay, you would
Right.
take that. You would take any defense if we say, hey, on third down, we're going to stop them more than they convert. You would go into that game thinking, okay, we probably win that game then, right? You know?
Right.
But it's purely
The
simply
turnovers.
because of the turnovers. They played basically on their own side of the field on the opposite side of the field the entire game. They were in field goal range for probably 75% of the game. And that lends towards here, James Cook won it, run it, 1, 2, all right, Josh Allen do something, get a first down. And then all you got to do is get a first down. All of a sudden, we're kicking a 30-yard field goal.
Right.
And there's no pressure. There was no pressure on the Bills whatsoever after the turnovers until the very end of the game. And all they had to do was hold on. And I hate this idea of, well, if Mark Andrews doesn't drop that pass, they win the game. How?
It was a minute 30 left
That would have sent them to
with Josh
overtime.
Allen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I personally, I thought
Josh
Lamar.
Allen's driving the field and winning the game.
Bro, I honestly, when Lamar threw that dart, because he threw a dart for the touchdown. I think it was like 40, 50 yards, something crazy. When he threw that, as soon as, what's his name, caught it, I instantly was like, oh, no, that's a lot of time left for Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's too much time left. Yeah, it was a 24 yards, same. Yeah, 24-yard pass. But as soon as the ball came out of his hands and he caught, I was like, oh, no. You was better off just running it, because now you about to. If you get the 2, you giving it back to him with a minute and a half left. That's not. It's just not. It's small things like that, right? You know, that you just don't think about. You're so antsy to, hey, well, let's tie the score, let's tie it up, that you do that, and all of a sudden you looking up,
Or
all they need is a field goal.
or early in the third, don't go for 2. Why just let the game play out?
But
Why are you forcing the habit?
Analytics say go for the 2 now, so you don't have to go for the 2 later, and that's been
Yeah, you go for it later with a minute and a half, and you could have just kicked the field goal and tied it and not put that much pressure on anybody.
See, you thinking from the perspective of like football sense and like real ball knowledge says, hey,
Right.
just take the points. That builds confidence. We'll come back around.
Right.
We just get a stop and a score, and we back here. But the analytics says, no, score now just in case, so that you don't have to worry about going for 2 later. But what that does is if you fuck it up, you just lost confidence. You just lost momentum, not getting the 2-point conversion.
Or you possibly lose the game
By 2 points.
by 2 points rather than taking the 1, and then you do get that stop, and you're just like, oh, our whole goal was to tie it anyway.
Yeah.
Let's tie it. Or you could go for 2 to win.
Yeah.
Like it's 2. So
Or
it's
the other version of that is you just kick the field goal instead of going for 2. And then when you do, if the game plays out the same exact way, you just kick the field goal and send it and tie it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. Like, come on, guys. But that's what the analytics department comes down and says, hey, if you convert the 2-point conversion here, there's a 67% chance that you can tie it back up. It's like, yeah, but what about just basic football shit? Hey, okay, that's cool and all. Let's just take the point. Take the point.
Yeah.
We'll worry about it. We'll worry about it later. We're the better team. That's what I would have been thinking.
I would save so much money for the owner just firing the analytic staff. And it's like, no, we're just gonna play knowledgeable and just play regular football.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not giving a fuck about analytics right now.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. You analyze like clock management. How can I some small shit like that I can like you can just chirp in my ear,
but not for
hey coach, if you take a timeout here or do this or make sure they go out of bounds on this play, like shit like that. Yeah, but like 4th down should be like second nature. 2-point conversion shit should be second nature. Like, what do we need right now versus like what the analytics say? Hey, we don't need in this game to fuck it up. We can't fuck this up, man. It's that simple. You're down. What were they down at that point? They're down, 11 at that, or you're down 8 at that point. You score here, you make it 20. You still got to go score again, no matter what happens.
Right. No matter what.
I'm sending my team out there. Hey, get a stop. But no, then you get this. But so let's. So what? Well, let's go back to where we started. Right. What has happened to NFL media and why? I have a perspective. I think a lot of this is because there are so many player analysts now that they just have a tendency to like overprotect the players because they were players at some point and they did get that same style or type of criticism at some venture in
Yeah,
their
but
life.
a lot of those players weren't okay. So you got a good mix of now soon to be Hall of Famers, and
Hmm.
players who are known for bonehead mistakes on the field. So it's just like you
That
got
was
to
very
like back,
pointed.
but you got a lot of lifelong backups that's on TV and things. People who are like had one or two good breakout seasons and then their career didn't pan out after that. So it's a
Hmm.
good mix. So I feel like they pick. I feel like it's still pick and choose who they want to. They have no. I don't see Pat Mahomes getting a lot of savior when it comes to these players or analysts. Period. It's just for somebody who's back-to-back Super Bowl champ, back-to-back Super Bowl MVP. You would think he had a
15
lot
and
more
1 in the
respect.
regular
Well,
season.
he don't even get respect from the peers.
Yeah.
Like the peers are not. So it's just like it's like the Josh Allen's and the it Burrow gets killed, and just like even though he's done
Yep.
more with less career games in the playoffs, uh, so it's just go. I don't golf feel good stories, so that's why they want to feel good about where he did and what how he's been. But Lamar is the biggest one of me. That's why it's always an issue because it's like we said before, they're scared to criticize him because of what they said when he came out,
Yep.
rather than judging him as a quarterback. It's this asterisk like, well, we wanted him to be a receiver, so now we can't really
Uh,
judge him as a quarterback. And it's just
you know what's crazy?
it's a
It feels like
and he's about to.
it feels like we told the future almost last year. It almost feels like every pod we did last year during the playoffs kind of pre-told how this year was going to go also. But even more, it's like
Yes,
more exaggerated. Like last year there was criticism of Lamar slightly. It was just now it's like flat out people being like, don't criticize Lamar, it's not his fault. Like, what are we
right.
saying? Yes, every other quarterback for 50 years since there's been TV and people to talk about this shit, like, it's been criticized the quarterback if he does something wrong, if he plays bad, if he causes his team to lose. Now we're
This
sitting
man
around
Dak can
saying,
throw for this man Dak can throw for almost 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. People be like, well, he's still off this for everything.
yeah.
It's like he can't win in the playoffs.
But for
That's it. His
Lamar,
Dak can't. It's a not never his fault.
I just don't understand.
Like, because it's a good question. What's Dax and Lamar's playoff resume? What I'm guessing is
Very
I
similar.
would think I've been
That's a
allowed for
good
both,
point.
and I feel like their playoff records and stats is around the well. Dak could probably have better stats passing wise.
Yeah, I would
Lamar probably
imagine.
have the running ones.
Let's check it out.
Is it 2 and 5 for each? 2 and 4 for each? If I'm not
Lamar
mistaken.
Jackson is 3-6 now. Let's
Oh
see.
yeah. Because this past year he went 1 and 1 this year.
I
So
mean,
Dak is 2 and 4,
Dak is 2-7, 2-5.
two and
Excuse me,
seven,
two and
two and
five.
five.
So they're yeah,
So
it's
three
pretty
and
much
six and 2 and 5. So
exactly
it's
the same.
but one gets killed
And one is
and the
like,
other one
please don't
doesn't.
talk about him. He's special. We can't talk about him.
And
It's
then here come all the Lamar fans. I can hear it now. How many MVPs does Dak have? Yeah, you see, that's what they riding off of now.
yeah. You want to hear the
And it's just like,
stats?
sure,
Uh,
enlighten me.
Dak in 7 games. Wait, is there a per game on here? No, fuck. So Dak in 7 games, 1,900 yards, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 163 rushing yards on 31 attempts with 4 rushing touchdowns. That's actually kind of surprising. Fumbles, 1 fumble. Lamar in
Yeah.
not well. This is 8 games.
9.
I guess he's 3-5, so it's only 8. Wait, well, how's he 3-5 with? But he played 9 games.
He didn't play one.
Oh, okay.
Didn't he not play?
So according to this, in one less game, Lamar has 1,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
In one more game.
In one more game, excuse me, yeah.
Right, Right.
3 rushing touchdowns, which is less than Dak somehow. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Because he's
And 7 fumbles in the playoffs. So he has 4 less touchdowns, one less rushing touchdowns,
200 less passing yards
200 less passing yards, the same amount of interceptions, and
and 6 more fumbles.
yeah, 6 more fumbles.
And
So
then we kill one quarterback about the playoffs and how they can't win,
and
and the other one gets saved
leave him
about how
alone.
everybody else. Eh, Are we the? Has anybody else brought up this comp? Are we the first one to tag
I
it? Like I
think
feel
we
like
might
nobody
be.
else has said this.
I mean,
Because
it's
I just had
so
a feeling, but
similar.
so why is this?
But you know what's crazy? Dak only has one game where he has multiple turnovers. Oh wait, hold on, I'm on the wrong one. Interceptions, one. Yeah, it's just one. It's just one. He has 2 interceptions. It's San Francisco, not well. Oh, 2 in a row. Excuse me. Last year he threw 2 picks. The year before that he threw 2 picks when they played San Francisco after they beat Brady.
Yeah, but it sounds like Lamar has 2 turnovers a game in the playoffs.
Do I still have? Did I talk? Did I do this? That whole spiel. Lamar Jackson. Hold on. I have a whole thing set up. I totally forgot. Where is it? Lamar. If I'm not mistaken, Lamar Jackson has played. You know what? I tweeted it. Let me go to Twitter real quick. Cause it's bad.
Great.
It's bad. Like it's gonna be funny when you hear this. Oh,
Crazy day when you go, who would you rather as your playoff quarterback? You just put 2 of those stats and you was like, Dak. You wouldn't have just blind reveal who would you rather have as your playoff quarterback and just pick that up. A lot of people would pick Dak.
yeah, that's crazy, right? 10-7 is really a weird. Like that's Lamar Jackson only having 13 touchdowns in 9 games, or 8 games essentially, is like it's hard to believe. Oh, damn it. Yeah, see, I might even get to pull it up because this shit won't even let me look at it. Fuck. But it's something along the lines of in half of his games, he has multiple turnovers. It's like 4 of 9 games, which I guess now is 8. So it's like, because if he didn't play in one of the 9, then that loss doesn't count. That's the
Right.
whole game that doesn't count. So it's literally like half of his playoff games, he has multiple turnovers in the game. And I think 7 of the 9, he has at least a turnover. And that's counting the wins and everything. So he has like
Hmm.
a turnover in most games. And half of his games is at least 2. It's crazy. It's ridiculous that somebody that talented, he just went the whole year and threw, what, 4 interceptions?
Was that him?
I think he was 40-4, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 66.7% completion percentage.
Now, see, I
It's
bet you, pass attempts go up in the playoffs.
that's a good. Let's see. Pass attempts. You might be onto something here. Here, let's go in order of time. So 29, 59, 24, 24, 22, 37, 21, 25. So he hits the 25 mark in almost every game.
Every, his career, his his regular season max is his damn near his
It's just like
playoff
called for.
average.
Yeah. Like just average
It's
at
like,
25.
and if you watch the games since Lamar been in the playoffs, that's exactly what everybody's been saying.
Wow.
He when it's it, I've
You want
been
to
saying
hear
it
another
forever.
crazy one? If Lamar, so he has 3 wins. In those 3 wins, there's one loss. He has 20 carries. That's the same game that he has 59 attempts in, but that's against the Titans. But so they have his wins against Tennessee. He has 16 carries. His win against Pittsburgh this year, he had 15 carries. His win against Houston last year, he had 11 carries. Every other loss, he has less than 10. 9, 9, 8, 6. Run the ball. Run the,
Well,
and all the other
we
games
say
are
this every year.
181, 136. Those are the wins. Then the losses are 54, 34, 54, 39. Run the ball. Run Lamar.
Duh, but then it kills the argument of him being a passer in the playoffs
But
with Josh
why?
Allen and everybody.
Why does it have to though? That's what I don't understand.
Because they because Lamar wants to show everybody he can win a Super Bowl by being a passer.
Jesus. But it doesn't make sense. It obviously like it just doesn't make sense, man. Oh, I finally got in here. Lamar Jackson now has 5 of 8 playoff games where he has turned the ball over multiple times, while also only being 7 out of 8 where he has at least one. When it comes to win or go home games, Lamar has proven he will make crucial mistakes every time. That's what I tweeted. He's also 3-5 in the playoff games now. So yeah, it's not good. And that's the thing. How you're throwing the ball 25, 30 times, which is you're hot. Like you do that once a year in the regular season. And you're doing it every playoff game. That was a great call. Like that's crazy. It just don't, and it's. I didn't understand. You went into Pittsburgh and you ran the ball. What? Out of the first 8 plays, he ran the ball 6 of them or 7 of
Right.
them, all but like 1 or
They
2.
it was a 12-play drive. All of them were runs
Yeah, and Lamar
between
had
him and Derrick
most of
Henry.
them. So it's
Right.
like, how did you go into this game with a team with a worse defense and say, you know what we should do? The total opposite of what won us the game last week. Well, you know what it is? Part of it is they were behind because of turnovers. So maybe
Exactly.
that's the difference. It's like if you turn the ball over, we need to run to win. We can't run if we play from behind. And so you're just perpetually in this cycle of, and it's almost like he knows it now. Hey, if we don't have the lead, we're going to lose. And then when you have that mentality, you're just going to be stuck there thinking, wow, we don't have the lead. Now we're going to lose. Like, come on, man. We gotta at least talk about what's going on. We can't just. It's so crazy to listen to some of the shows and see the clips of people talking about this and just being like, "Oh, Lamar's not the problem. Lamar's not the look what Mark Andrews dropped the ball. Mark Andrews had the more pivotal fumble at the bigger moment. But guess what? We would not be down 2 scores if Lamar didn't fumble it
I
and
don't
throw the
care.
pick.
I don't care about who had what at what moment. Like it's the what about what transpired to get us to that, making
Yeah.
that such a big moment.
Yeah, well, like this shouldn't even be a big moment. We should be up right now. The Bills didn't even move the ball well. That's the whole other point. If we start them at the 25 every drive because we go down there and score and don't turn it over, how many points do they score?
Josh Allen had what 120 passing yards.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Matter of fact, I want to look too. What was the Bills drive after every turnover? Well, that's going against my shit. Interception, when Lamar threw the interception, they went 4 plays and got 4 yards. Well, I guess it's really 3 plays and a punt. So you went 3 and out.
Right.
Then Lamar fumbles it, and what do? They run. They have 4 plays for 24 yards, and they score a touchdown. And then after that, they literally go punt, field goal, field goal. So all you have to do is not turn the ball over and score one of those other times. Now you're in a whole different game. Now it's either 14-17 you're up, or it's 14-14 tie game instead of we're down 21-10 going into halftime. Like, it's just gross that we have to really sit here and keep having this conversation. Criticize Lamar Jackson like he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He is.
Right.
He
Don't
is.
say it and then give him a pass.
We wouldn't do that with Peyton Manning. We definitely don't do that with people like Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, even. Like, we don't do that. And, like, if we're putting him in the same category as people like Joe Montana, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, all these greats, Drew Brees, Aaron, if we're putting him in that same category, let's criticize him the same way when he don't get the shit done. Quit taking it so softly on him, man. I want Lamar to win too. That don't mean we can't criticize his performances, man. It's stupid. And then we do the opposite with everybody else. Like, Joe Burrow don't make the playoffs.
Man.
You got people out here making TikTok videos of how the Bengals could have won 14 games. What type of loser mentality shit are we in these days? The Bengals could have went 14-3. No, they won 8 games. 9 games.
Right.
Like, what are we talking about?
We seen them. Ain't no coulda. I hate when people start doing that coulda. Like,
I literally watched
what
the video
happened?
of
What
that.
did happen? I seen it. I didn't feel like quitting. It was like, this sounds stupid.
Bro, it's so
14.
silly. Like, what are we doing? If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Sick. So the NFL is rigged. Moving on to the next. Oh, and I just want to point out, nobody gives a fuck what happens for Josh Allen. There was 2 gigantic ref mishaps in the Bills-Ravens game. Nobody cared at all. Nobody says the shit's rigged for Josh Allen and the Bills, who basically didn't even have to do anything. They didn't have to move the ball. They had 200 yards total, I think, as a team. They had 273 yards total versus 416. Come on. But the defensive pass interference, hitting Lamar out of bounds. I don't see how the dude tackling Lamar out of bounds isn't worse than Pat getting hit in the head twice.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody cares about that's the problem. I think with some of this
the crazy arguments with the steel frame, saying that's not helmet to helmet when it's literally a pause frame where his helmet is on his helmet.
When the top of your helmet is
Kind
hitting
of
my
just
face
like,
mask and I'm like this, where my chin and my chest. Hey,
it's just like, sometimes it's just like you can't argue with Stu, but that's really kids. It's like, bro, there's the picture's right
it's
there.
right here.
Like, the
Well,
picture's right there.
he didn't hit his helmet
Like,
that hard. Well, guess what? The rules don't matter. It don't matter how hard you hit somebody, the quarterback in the helmet. You can't hit the quarterback in
There's
the
not
helmet.
a damage. We don't have damage meters on top of the quarterbacks and be like, oh, that's minus 10 damage. We don't take it up. It's like that. Lead with the crown of the helmet. It's targeting. It's simple. That's what the rules
We
say.
watched Chris Jones brush the front of Tom Brady's face mask and get a roughing the passer called in one of those in the playoff game. I think. Am I mistaken?
That was the AFC Championship.
I think it was. Yeah, and they called roughing the passer, and literally he just grazed the front of his face mask as he was tackling him. But Patrick Mahomes can't get headbutted in his chin, or else you got to knock his helmet clean off, and then people will be like, okay, maybe that was a little too much.
Right, a little aggressive.
But so let's speak to the point. Is the NFL rigged so Taylor Swift will be at the Super Bowl by the referee? Are the referees rigging the games so that the Chiefs and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark and all these fucking white people can come see them in the Super Bowl? Is that what is happening? Is that why the Texans lost this game?
The Texans lost because the people want to see Taylor Swift. And
Yes. So the refs are giving the Chiefs calls on critical third downs so that they can have Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl again. Yep.
yeah, that just sounds like even when you say it the third time, it sounds dumb. It's just like, what is that where we going to? Like, I don't even click and listen to these rigged conversations because it makes no sense. Like, yeah.
Or
What Nick Wright say? It was like the league is owned by 32 different owners. Yes, So every owner in the NFL is like, okay, well,
Let the
this year we're
Chiefs
going to
win
rig
again.
it for the Chiefs again. It's just like, because that makes perfect sense. Every owner is
Yeah,
just like,
come on now.
okay, we'll just give them the Super Bowl again this year. Like, yeah, they'll say okay to that.
Yeah, make the
No,
most
that
money
makes
for
zero sense.
me personally, or make sure the league gets Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. I think I want to make the most money and my team win the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah,
So
that
did
makes
the
zero
did
sense.
the
So,
refs make them lose the game? How about you have no offensive line? How about that? How about me and you have been sitting here for 2 years?
they didn't, the rest didn't sack you 6 times.
I've been sitting here for at least this whole year and probably the end of last year saying, "Hey, guess what? The game, what it looks like every play devolves into for the Texans. C.J. Stroud scrambles to the fucking right and just chucks it
And
to
tells
Nico
it.
Collins wherever he's at. Why? Because 1.3 seconds into the snap, he's got a defensive end running behind him trying to track him down. Yes, the Texans' offensive line is terrible. The refs didn't
I
do
mean,
that.
Karlaftis was.
It was embarrassing. And that's the Karloff is not even how many sacks did he have for the whole season? Did he even
3.
he has 3 for the whole
Oh, yeah.
season.
He
Oh, and I
had
gotta
3 in
be
that
more.
game.
That's what I'm saying. Like
No, 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 no. I'm saying he still had 3 in that game.
that's what I mean. Like, bro, how many he had 8 sacks all year. So he had damn near half of his sacks for the whole season in one game. And people think it's because the refs are rigging the game. No. It's because your offensive line is fucking terrible. And we just decided, hey, we're going to get in zone coverage against Travis Kelce. Guess who is one of the most prolific receivers against zone coverage? Travis fucking
Uh,
Kelce. Yeah. I don't understand. What is with it? Why is it? What is people's obsession with the shit being rigged? Is it just a coping mechanism? Is it because to me it just I just keep telling people that's loser shit. You keep talking to me about the refs. That's some loser ass shit, bro. You know what we didn't do when they
yeah,
called offsides on D Ford? Blame the refs. We didn't blame the refs. We said, "Ah, D Ford, you fucked it up."
and that's why he was going this year.
Yeah, we don't.
I was
Chiefs,
just
we
playing.
not sitting there doing that. We not blaming the refs. That's what you do when you know, hey, my team is a team that can't beat these other guys, so I have to make up some bullshit. And then all the Texans players going after the game saying, hey, oh, we knew going into the game that the referees were going to be against us. That's loser shit. I always tell people, if the NFL is rigged, guess what you can't actually do? Rig the game if I beat your ass. That's what you get. If I put up 50 and we shut you down, you can't rig nothing. If we blow you out by 4 scores, can't rig that. What you gonna rig? It's no critical. There's no critical plays to be made. We blowing you out. So if the shit is rigged, play better. It's that easy.
Right.
If you truly believe that the shit is really rigged and it's rigged by and through the referees throwing flags at pivotal moments, you can stop that by not allowing the other team to even be in a position to have pivotal moments. Go
I
score.
mean, we're not gonna talk about how they call Hollywood Brown's catch a drop when
When he
clearly it was
clearly
a
had the
catch.
ball scooped
But
up under his arms, yeah. But I mean, we're not going to complain about that.
we didn't even challenge it. That's how much we didn't care. Like it's just like,
Just keep going, yeah.
and he was like, "Oh, okay, all right, next play."
But why is the referee thing is getting so gross, bro? Like it's
Yeah, because when you pull out the data on how much we actually do
I don't even
get
want to.
flagged and
Yeah.
things like that, then people start saying, "Well," then they just have zero arguments. It's just like, mm,
Well, what people will always keep leaning on is will they have more penalties in these playoff games or in the last whatever that stupid stat floating in the last 9 games? You know what's odd to me? That's a very specific fucking number, don't you think? 9. Like, isn't
well,
that?
because we don't in our last 9 games. Well, sorry that we're always in the playoffs, so you got to see us the most,
I just think that's weird. Like because like when you do statistics, right? When you parse through the numbers,
right?
you have a specific number like 9. Why? Because if we go to 18, I bet you the stats change a little bit. How much you want to bet?
Right.
If we expand that, double that 9 into 18 of the last
Or
18
do all
games.
his playoff games.
How about yeah? Like how does that look? How do the stats pair out then? But of course, it has to fit the narrative. That's a lot. We're not gonna get into it, but that's a lot of what's wrong going on in the country right now. It's a lot of people who are just in this weird mindset of cherry picking shit based on bias thoughts and shit, and just deciding that this thing fits what I have to say. So any other idea or metric that could go against it, I don't care.
It's not right.
La la,
Right.
just earmuffs. La 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 la. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, what'd you say that the Chiefs fall towards the bottom of the list when you parse out the stats for the whole playoff career on third down, fourth down, end of the game winning drives? Oh, you saying that the stats don't actually say that they get more calls? But you don't want to hear that part. You just want to see the last 9 games.
Oh, the stats,
It's
the stats say
crazy.
Josh Allen actually leads the league in roughing the passer calls.
Hello. The referee patted this nigga on his head, bro. So, hey, my fault, bro. My fault, big dog. We gonna get him next time. You don't hit the pat on the back of the head and the chest tap like on some
Nobody talks
regular
about
shit.
it.
Nobody talked
Nobody
about
talks
it.
about it.
But the refs, obviously the refs are rigging the games for the Chiefs. It's disgusting. You lost. They lost. The Chiefs won again. Sorry. Whoops. Whoops. They won the game. Hey, how about this?
Try again next year.
How about this? Instead of blaming the refs, how about you don't go spend all your money on the defensive side of the ball in free agency? And how about instead of having, you guys got the best cornerbacks in the league, right? How about instead of doing this, how about we bracket Travis Kelce? How about we do some man zone combinations specifically to target Travis Kelce when he starts the game off with all the catches?
Mm-hmm.
How about we just
Only one. Worthy was the only receiver to catch a ball.
How about we fucking double team the guy who's the only guy catching the ball? How about that? How about you do that instead of blame the refs?
I bet the Bills are so sick because dude, they didn't have to show no plays against
They didn't have
y'all.
to do shit. Just throw it to Travis Kelce. We'll toss it to Xavier Worthy a couple times, but they've been doing that for half the season now. They just, here's a couple plays,
Right.
man. Just go do something.
Go run fast.
Yeah, go do some shit. What we gonna
And
do?
then Bills probably sitting back like, we seen they didn't show us nothing new. So
Nothing.
now we got to. It's such a bland offense. It's just sitting there watching another regular season game. Just like, oh, the Chiefs are going to win. They look like the better team. Okay, cool.
Yeah, here's what we're gonna. Here's the
Yeah.
game plan. Here's our playbook. Travis Kelce run a curl route, and then if you don't get open immediately, just go get open. Just go sink into the open space in this zone defense.
All right. Just check it down. Yep. Or I'm running.
Yep. It's so that shit to me
Sounds
is just
good to me.
gross. Chiefs win again. There you go. That's the Chiefs
Per
Texans.
usual.
Let's get to a more fun game. All right. That was a little frustrating and angry. So let's go to a game that was a little more fun, and then we kind of have to go back to being frustrated at the next game. So Commanders Lions, fun game, man. Fun game.
Yeah. Very good parlay hitter.
Yeah. That was one of them ones. If you had some parlays going, you like 70% of them parlays hit for people.
You definitely hit on my touchdown.
Mine didn't. But that's beside the point. What was it? 76 points combined. That's a fun playoff game. Where do you want to?
Yeah.
Which side do you want to start on? Lions or Commanders? Who do you want to talk about first?
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn,
Oh, okay.
but
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah, how many times I gotta tell y'all about this man, Jaden?
From the beginning
Like,
of
I
the
called
year,
it back in
bro.
the preseason. I called it back in preseason. I said
Sneaky
this man
team.
was like sneaky team, and then everybody's like, "Oh, Commanders,
Yep.
yes, the Commanders." And I called it, and then Can we talked about the Chiefs, we talking about the Commanders and Lions now, so we might as well just get rid of it real quick. I don't want to have nobody waiting when there's a Chiefs Commanders Super Bowl. And everybody know what's going on. All right, so I'm calling it here now. I don't even want to talk about the Eagles. They're boo boo, but we got to do it anyway.
We do have to do it at some
So,
point, yeah.
but the Commanders did exactly what I thought they were gonna do. Like I didn't think Detroit defense was gonna be able to keep up with that offense, and I think Commanders defense did just enough to hold on to Detroit. So I
Hmm.
mean, it's one of those games that ended. I mean, turnover was a big one. So turnover
I
is, if
mean,
I'm
they
not
yeah,
mistaken, it was one.
another one.
Yeah. So, but I mean, overall, it was a good game. I mean, Jaden's just different, man. Like he about to be up there. Did he win this NFC Championship game? He was what, first rookie to go to a Super Bowl, lead the team to a Super Bowl. But not
Yeah.
only a team, it's the Commanders, like that once known as the Redskins. Like, and once
Also,
you say the
Chiefs Redskins Super Bowl would be a little, a little conspiracy ish. Both Indian teams. That's just funny. I just thought about that, but yeah, that'd be weird as
yeah,
hell. But yeah, hey,
but
you fucking called it, bro. You called this game like to a T. Like, how they gonna stop the Commanders? Jay Dez is on fire. You have no defense. It's basically pretty sure that's what you said, if I remember. And yeah, that's what happened. My call, I remember. I listened back.
yeah,
Mine was, hey, I think this is a game where it's a shootout, and the last person to have the last team that has the ball wins. And it could have been that. Could have been that. But Jaden Daniels, man, yeah, he's different, man. 300 yards, two touchdowns, 51 yards rushing. He ran when he had to, when he needed to, and he's
what I
slinging
said,
this
he
shit.
can't throw the ball. I said he's a Lamar. Then I say he's a Lamar Jackson that can throw and just he
Uh
doesn't run when he needs. He runs when he needs to, not as got to get out this play because he'll rather sit back there and throw,
yeah.
and he can make the throws.
Is it too
Other than
far?
Lamar,
Is it too far to say that Jaden Daniels, right now in this moment, barring how the future goes, is he who people were saying Lamar was last year? He's a complete. He's become a better passer. He's amazing at passing the ball, and he only runs when he needs to. Is that who Jaden Daniels really is? Because I feel like the athleticism. I mean, obviously, like Lamar is like A plus plus plus.
well, he's Lamar. I would say he's Lamar if Lamar could throw more than 25 times a game.
Actually, Jaden Daniels throws
Like
his deep ball the best part of like his arm, like just dropping
he
it
can't throw a
into
good
to
deep ball. Yeah,
McLaurin,
he
like is
can't throw
like.
a nice down the field ball. It's but decision making
Have you
and
heard the
everything
little
else
thing
with
that he
it.
does? The his like thing with every NFL team that he interviewed with, he basically said VR training. He has to have VR
Oh yeah,
training,
yeah,
and
yeah.
he runs that shit at 1.75 speed so that he's making decisions at a faster pace than in real life. So when he's in real life, it feels like the game is slowed down compared to how he's like going over the plays and film through training in VR, which is crazy to think about. Like, but it makes total sense. I play the game on double speed and then fuck around, and when I get out here, it feels like shit's moving slow, and that might be why he just comes across and seems like he's just so calm and collected and not rushed. Except the only difference is when he runs. When he runs, you can see it and feel it of like he's a little hectic, which I still worry about somebody laying that big hit on him. But he hasn't been silly for a while. It's been a few weeks where he ain't been silly with the running. He hasn't been like dangerous running around.
Who's that?
So, but yeah, your boy, you did it. You called it perfect, bro. You called it perfect. Preseason pick for the sneaky NFC team, a 4 win team last year, and then they turn around and do this, make it to the NFC Championship. Yeah,
Hey, this
I
is
was
why
way
people
off.
need to actually watch the preseason. Everybody's like, I don't watch preseason. I don't do this. It's very. yeah, maybe for veterans. I watch it to see like backups and things because I do fantasy. I need to
Yeah,
know who possibly I can get off waiver wires and things. Also, I like to see who the Chiefs backups are.
yeah,
Also, I like to see how rookies play because I don't care how they look against the second, third team, a little bit against the first teams. I like to see how poised they, especially quarterbacks, how
yeah.
poised they look. Like, because if you're a fragile quarterback, you're gonna look fragile regardless if it's the second string or the third string out there. You gonna see
You
it.
all over the
And
place.
Jalen's
Ah,
got it's more quarterbacks. Michael Penix looked good in the preseason, which I said. I said Joe Milton when he was playing during the preseason looked good. Look what he did his last game.
yeah.
All three quarterbacks, I said that they throw the ball pretty well. When they got their chance,
They
they was
did
throwing the
something.
ball pretty well.
Yeah.
Like so, I don't know. Uh, Casuals. We're the best sports pundits out here. If y'all just didn't know, Carver 2X show.
Ah.
Fucking real sports facts.
So, is Jaden Daniels the best quarterback left in the playoffs right now? I should add a caveat of is he playing quarterback the best right now? Because I mean, like if we go off body work, there's obviously no
I would say, yeah,
conversation. But we
obviously.
talking about right
That's what I was
now,
about to say.
twenty
Is he
twenty
the
five.
hottest quarterback going into the position they're in right now? I would say yes. That's why I would be more scared about. I would be more scared as an Eagle fan than any fan in it's left in the playoffs because you got a hot rookie coming in who's not playing like a rookie, and you once again the Eagles coming in off a
But wait,
could
hold
have
on.
lost game.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them real quick. Before we touch on the Eagles, let's go touch on the Lions real quick because I do have a quick take to get off for the Lions. Well, first the question. We'll just get straight. Did Jared Goff choke? My answer to that question is it choking if I expect you to just not win? Is that choking
This
still?
that this I mean I guess choke would just I think the definition choke would be more of mm, even it's not going off of pat previous history. It's going more off of
Right now?
right now and expectations. And then if you don't meet those expectations and you fall short of those, then
Oh,
it's
so then
technically choke. So just like
absolutely, yeah.
The Lions season the last 2 years would technically be choking as a whole because people wanted had the Lions in the Super Bowl 2 years in a
Yeah.
row and it didn't happen. They lost the way they lost.
People this year were sitting in the stands. Those Lions fans legitimately believed they were going to the Super Bowl. And to be fair to them, 15-2, you got the best offense in the game. Like, well, roughly the best offense in the game. Joe Burrow and the Bengals would have something to say about that. But you have,
All right.
you've got one of the best teams going into this. Their Super Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, they were favorites at some point in the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in here and you just meet a wrecking ball of Jaden Daniels. To me, also, the flip side of that is your quarterback didn't play well.
Right.
3 picks is crazy. 3 picks is sick. And then you throw into that, what was it? You're down 3 scores. Let me go look at the exact score. Pretty sure you're down 2 or 3 scores, and one of those was a pick 6 also. But yeah, game on the line, and you have Jamison Williams
Throw up. Throw up.
throw a fucking throw it 50 yards downfield in a double coverage, triple coverage, maybe even. I ain't went back and looked, but you just have him blindly chuck the ball up a wide receiver who's been been pretty goofy with some of the stuff that he's done. You know what I
What's
mean?
crazy is the receiver you should have been throwing it to
It's
down
the
the
guy.
field is the one throwing it.
Sometimes you can
Yes.
be too smart for your own good. You know what I mean? Pretty
Yes.
sure we came on here and we're advocating for people to have like 2 quarterback read option pass out of it type of shit. But I think you can be too. You can try to be a little too cute, too smart for your
That
own
wasn't
good.
one of our best takes
I
right
don't think
there.
so. But
Yeah.
you might be able to make it work in a very specific circumstance only. But yeah. But like you can be too cute, and that was one of those. But I think you're at the point. If you're at the point where you're like, hey, season on the line, it's a very serious moment. Instead of have Jared Goff throw it and throw a 4th pick, let's have the wide receiver just chuck it and throw the pick instead. and just say fuck it. That to me is like a lack of like you're done with him. So my take for the Lions thing was I think they should go into this draft season really thinking about at least doing the Alex Smith. Let Jared Goff hold the fort down while you prepare a young quarterback for the future. Is that fucked up? I don't even know how old Jared Goff is. But it feels like it's getting to the point now it's over.
30, 30,
He's
31,
30.
maybe?
He's 30 on the dot. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time to start thinking about, hey,
But
maybe
they don't have a high enough what? Draft a quarterback late first round. Is the
yeah,
quarterback class this deep this year to do that?
it's not, but I think if you have a second or third round grade on a quarterback, I think sitting him for 2 years could help behind Goff and just learn and draft a guy with potential. And if it
You
doesn't
might as well
work, you just
just you
move
might as
on.
well just you might as well just go get one of these backups,
That
young
too.
backups, and do it that way.
But you never know though with the young guy. You could draft somebody and perfect example, your guy. Quinn Ewers. I think that'd be one of those things like, hey, go sit behind him for a year or two. And if it doesn't work, if you don't progress, like practicing and being with the team, then it's no love lost. We cut ties with you and we just figure out another plan. And we still have Jared Goff, who can just hold the fort down. Yeah, that was my thing with I think they should start thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing I said with the Cowboys. Like, we've seen this formula
No,
work
but
over and over again. Just bite the bullet, make it work.
knowing the Lions, what they're gonna say. We made it to the round before the NFC Championship. We had 16 players on IR this year.
Yep.
Let's just run it back.
That's so
Running it back for the
silly.
third time is the saddest one because it's gonna be the worst one.
Mm-hmm. You know who also did that too, right?
Mm,
You know who did
no,
it. The Cowboys. 12 and
well, of
5,
course.
12 and 5, right? You go 12 and
Hmm.
5, you go 12 and 5. You lose in the playoffs. And you should have for the past 2 years drafted a quarterback somewhere and set him behind Dak and got him prepared. But you just kept Cooper Rush, and Cooper Rush did fine, cool, but you knew this was coming, and now you're stuck. Like I was saying, you're stuck. The Lions are going to be in a similar situation. We don't necessarily need to go over their cap space right now, but just start naming guys. How many guys can you pay top of the market? Can you pay 2 running backs, a receiver, a tight end, a defensive end, and 2 offensive linemen, and the quarterback, and one of your secondary players? Can you play 8 to 9 players top of the market? No.
Mm-mm.
No.
We ain't even built like that,
Fuck no, you can't do that. So what's your best option? Hey, let's keep as many guys as we can and try to get the cheap quarterback.
and
That
they all young too. So it's
they
just
all
like
young. So let's pair him with somebody. Even if you end up in a Brock Purdy-esque situation where we draft a guy in the 4th round and he sits for
St. Brown
two,
already
3
got paid,
years.
right?
I think he just got paid if I'm not mistaken.
They got to pay Aiden.
Let me see. I'll pull it up. We can go over real quick. Hold on. Let me see how this goes. Okay, so Jared Goff is tied in. His contract just started this year. Amon-Ra St. Brown, they just paid this year. Penei Sewell, they just paid this year. Aiden Hutchinson is still on his rookie contract till 2026. Jahmyr Gibbs is 2027. Jameson Williams is 2026. Jack Campbell, the outside linebacker, 2027. He was solid. Who else am I looking for? Laporta is still on his rookie contract till 2026. Brian Branch, 2026.
So
There's
next
a
year they got
common.
some.
Yeah.
So next year they got a real. Next year they told you they gonna run it back for one more year, and then next year they gonna start doing some
But
changes.
my thing is, okay, that's the perfect time to bring the young quarterback in. You're not starting this year. We're running it back. We're taking you in the 2nd or 3rd round, whatever you got to do. You're just going to sit for the next year, maybe even the next year. If they do good next year, hey, that buys Jared Goff 1 more year. And then you just sit back with that, and then all of a sudden it's 2026. Now we make a decision. Do we sign all of our other guys and then keep the young guys? He good enough for that? Or do we have to figure some shit out and we just ride with Goff for 2 more years without some of your running backs? Half of your defense will be gone if you can't sign them. Like, what are your options? Those are your options. It's the same thing with the Cowboys, same thing with the 49ers. And so far,
They re-signed Porter and Gibbs, and they
you
probably
have
gonna let
to.
Brian Branch walk.
And Hutchinson, what about Hutchinson? You got to sign Hutchinson too.
Oh yeah, they signed Hutchinson,
You
but they
can't. You
yeah,
can't
you
sign
gotta
all these.
sign
You got to.
Hutchinson.
That's what I'm saying. So you gonna have Jared Goff
They
on
might let
contract.
Jameson Williams walk
Maybe that's
because
the
they got
one.
Tim Patrick.
That's the one you have to kind of fuck
Because
around
do
with,
they
play
want a
around
tight
with.
end?
Yeah, that's the. They're in a tough spot. And so far, nobody has done it, right? I mean, the 49ers were in a weird spot because Brock Purdy is young and he's on the cheap contract. But, like, Cowboys should have done it because now they're going to have to totally restart. If you want a young quarterback now you're totally restarting. Like, because everybody's going to be gone. Everybody's already gone. You already shed your team of the contracts. But I just think the Lions should think about that. I don't understand why teams don't do this. Look at the Falcons. The Falcons are going into next year going, hey, we got a quarterback on a rookie contract. We know he's solid. He set the whole year. He played a couple games at the end and looked good. We can actually do something next year. We can actually, even if we don't make the playoffs, we can still be a team in contention. We can still be this same team next year and maybe improve on that for the next 2 years. Versus the Lions who have to look forward 2 more years and go, everybody's contract is up except Jared Goff. So what are you gonna do? I just think, hey, think about it. You guys should probably think about that. There's another team also with a quarterback that's not the greatest. That's sitting out here that I think they should maybe think about that too, even though they just signed their quarterback 2 years ago, I guess. But the Eagles played the Rams and they barely won. The funniest thing to me, and I put this in the notes, the Eagles are favored to win, favored to win the Super Bowl right now. How does that make you feel? Which I guess is also, how do you feel about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl?
I don't even think they should be favored over the Commanders, but I get
Yep,
it.
I knew it.
The history, the wins, who they are, X, Y, and Z, rookie quarterback, whatever you want to say. But favorites win the Super Bowl.
That's
Anybody that
crazy.
like everybody, I'm sure whoever wins the AFC is going to be favored over whoever wins the NFC, whichever pattern combination you want to do. So the fact that you got the Eagles over any AFC team is kind of wild to me. Like
Yeah, it's pretty
third
weird.
at third best, third Super Bowl odds at best. That should be it.
I'm
It should
with
be
you.
AFC, Eagles, Commanders, if that. Like so. I don't get what Vegas is doing. I don't know if they. It's not. That's a horrible bet. That's a horrible bet.
Yeah. So
I don't see the.
let's bring it back. Let's reverse. Um, how did you feel about this game? I
It was the Saquon. I mean, I didn't really watch
The team is the
this game. I was
Saquon
a
team, if we being honest.
well, but it's most of their money is spent with the quarterback and receivers.
Yes.
So very very interesting dynamic.
You know what this reminds me of? And we brought this up when I brought up the 16 completions per game thing. But do you remember whose name came up the most when it came to either the 15, 16, and 17 completions per game? Do you remember who came up? I think they came up 3 different years where they were around that number.
Well, Hurts probably.
No. I mean, besides Hurts, it was Russell Wilson.
Oh,
I think, is Jalen Hurts just Russell Wilson? Is he just the new version of Russell Wilson? Because that was 10 years ago, or 12
a
years ago at this
better.
point. It's like the flip side. It's like we have a strong offense, weak defense, and then you just game managing. Hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, throw a deep ball to one of the receivers every once in a while, and let's just try to get out of here.
and then inflate the stats with the tush push.
Yeah, but even that isn't the greatest now. Like, bro, I said it. I called something. Jalen Hurts is fucked up out there, guys. He's fucking. He looks so beat up and stiff again for another year, where he's ending the season dinged up, bro. Like, the tush push? I think is going to end this man's career early because he seems like he's constantly hurt. He came back off a concussion, and I'm pretty sure he got a concussion in that first round, bro. And now you just got him out there, and he can't even get 150 yards. Fuck, let alone complete the ball 16 times. How many completions do you have in this game?
Shit.
10?
Run, man.
Did he even get
He
to
only had
10?
100.
Oh,
Probably had like 12.
let's see. He was 15 for 20. Excuse me. So it's like all those little stats, man. It comes to the playoffs, and here we go. We want you to throw the ball 20 times. That's a quarterback you're going to pay 50, 60 million dollars for the next 5 years. And
He looked like Notre Dame's quarterback against Iowa State.
boy, yeah. But it's just I don't like. I get it. Okay, he can run sometimes. He can run, and he has like a good deep ball. To me, that's just you're just Russell Wilson 2.0. It just worries me with the Eagles of the Rams almost won. They could have won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're driving down the field about to win the game. You got to chalk it up to the
That was
defense.
a big third down sack they took on that last drive.
Yeah, Jalen fucking Carter, man. The very one shining bright spot on that defense is you have a monster on the defensive line. Like, oh man. But yeah,
I just don't see this Eagle team winning against the Commanders.
the Eagles, I don't really understand how they keep winning games. It's not game management. It's not the quarterback. It's not the defense. It could only be one person. And maybe that person should have had more of a fair shake when it came to the MVP of the league. Saquon is still out here. The guy that we're going to give, think about this, right? The guy that we're probably going to give MVP to choked the game and fumbled the ball, threw a pick, and basically just he blew it. Lamar. The other guy that was in consideration threw for as many yards as the guy in this game, who I feel like all people that are watching football would agree is not playing good. Hasn't played good for 2 years now. You know what I mean? Hasn't had like a great game for since the Super Bowl in 2023. Hasn't been
Mm-hmm.
great. And then you just have Saquon quietly carrying a team that wants to fall apart, that wants to die. Like A.J. Brown is reading books on the sideline during playoff games. And Saquon is just quiet. And their defense is terrible. The secondary is terrible. And Saquon is just single-handedly dragging them to wins. And he didn't even get considered to be the MVP. Even though if Saquon
Nowhere
got hurt
near.
right now, there's no way anybody would believe that the Eagles could win the game. Let alone, like, if Saquon wasn't here for the whole playoffs, I'm pretty sure everybody would imagine they're out first round. Easy. Blowout first round. So, yeah. I think, the Eagles, y'all fucked up. Y'all paid that man $50 million for 5 years. That's rough.
Yep.
But yeah.
Horrible.
So let's preview these two games of the AFC and NFC championship. We got Bills Chiefs. Let's start here, man. What do you want me to say?
I mean, do we got to keep beating a dead horse or
Yeah,
like?
like
Come
who do
on.
you think we're gonna pick? Okay, we want some. Let's try to drum up some analysis. Okay,
Okay.
two teams that are playing ball control on offense. basically, hey, let's just try to get a first down. The first thing we're just trying to think of is let's just try to get first downs and kick a field goal. That's what we're aiming towards. Keep the defense off the field, kick a field goal, right? And then one team has one of the best defenses in the league. Then the other team has a bottom third defense in the league. One has a quarterback that has never beaten a good quarterback in the playoffs until last week. And the quarterback he beat in the playoffs last week that was good had to turn the ball over multiple times to win that, and he threw for 120 fucking yards in the game. I don't really see, like, how do I honestly, my take on this game is I think the Chiefs actually put up 30 points finally, and that the Bills have a hard time, like, because the Bills are basically just whatever the Chiefs were last year, that's what the Bills are this year. And it's been 4 or 5 years of just that same rotation. So, like, the Bills, hey, we're struggling to move the ball. We're struggling to get stops, but we've been winning games. And I think the Chiefs come out here and open the playbook up finally and say, hey, ta-da, we have explosives for 40, 50 yards. We can put up 35 points on you, and you guys are going to really have a tough time getting Keon Coleman and Khalil Shakir going. And I just don't see.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was saying. I said we kept it so vanilla for a reason. I think this is the reason.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to
Like,
pull the rabbit out
it's
the
the
hat.
reason why we didn't. Yeah, and that's what I said. I said don't be surprised if we run the ball like 10 times and Pat Mahomes got like 40 pass attempts or something like that. Something just like, all right, here we go. Here's the play, but you want to see D Hop get 7 targets? You want to see Hollywood get 7 targets? You want to see Worthy in there? It's just like crazy work.
Yeah, that's.
And then Spaz gonna probably run a lot of man. He trusts McDuffie and Watson to hold their best 2 points and go crazy.
You know what I'm really ready to see? I wonder if they pull it out, then I'm gonna go back and clip up the last when we played the Bills last and show how I was talking about where the fuck is Leo Chenal at? You had Leo Chenal spy Lamar Jackson, but not Josh Allen when they played in the regular season. I wonder if they bring him out here. Hey, it's Bolton because you know they run nickel, so it's Bolton,
Right.
Chenal, spy, and then we just gonna everybody sit back and let him. We gonna sit back in zone. Let him take the shit underneath. If he don't like the shit that's underneath, he gonna try to run. And he gonna be met with a big fucking this big-headed white dude who just wants to hit people as hard as he can.
Right, that's about it.
And it's probably just as fast and just as athletic as Josh Allen. Sneaky people don't really, I don't think national people know that Leo Chenal is like that. Except, he's been blocking kick. He blocked the other kick. That's 2 block kicks in the season. That's weird. But I think his time is coming now where they're going to unleash that. Hey, spy him. They're going to pull it out on 3rd down and shit. Spy his ass and hit him. And they're not going to know what to do. So, yeah. I mean, Chiefs. Duh, we have Chiefs. That's silly. You should know this. Look, the man got the hat on. Look at it. All right, other side of the bracket. We got Commanders Eagles. I feel like this is one of those also. We just did this commentary. It feels like the only thing that scares me is Saquon Barkley. Because Saquon can because he can keep Jaden Daniels off the field single-handedly, run up the score, and keep him off the field.
Can he? Because if he scores 70 yards, that's pretty quick.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's the only thing. Like,
he had 200 plus against the Rams, and they still had a chance to win.
That's true. That's a good point. So does this all just fall back on Jalen Hurts again? Like, Jalen Hurts, you have to do something. You got to wake up, or you're gonna lose. Because the Commanders are coming in primed for a shootout. So they want to drag you specifically, Jalen Hurts, into a shootout. We want to keep Saquon Barkley gone. Like, keep him, hey, you can throw it to him in the flat.
Off the field.
Yeah, like, we just want to make sure he is not running wild and you just have a lead and you just get to hand it to him 35 times. No. Like that is the opposite of what they want to happen. So I just wonder.
I'm going Commanders.
I'm leaning towards Commanders also, but that doesn't feel fun if we both pick the same team. I can't pick the Eagles. I'm not doing it. Never mind. I
He
can't.
said, "What?
I can't do it. I cannot pick the Eagles right now, just how they've looked. And I'm sure we'll look up and somehow they just win in some weird, awkward way. And Jalen
It'd
Hurts,
be 13-14.
yeah, and Jalen Hurts completes 7 passes and somehow they win. And like it'll just be something weird. But right now, I think yeah. So we both got the same picks in this one. So that means you won. You won pick wise. There's no way for me to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We both picking the Chiefs. So you got that. You got
Right.
that. You did that. What'd you go? Was it perfect in the
I mean,
wild
no,
card round?
7-2. No,
Okay.
I lost. I missed one each game,
Mm,
each weekend. But I mean,
that's
seven
crazy.
two. I take it.
That's a crazy run.
Hey, I mean, I just watched the games and I like
Good
that's
point.
it.
I need to start
That,
betting all these little stats. I keep bringing out these stats and then not betting them shits. That's what I need to do. Start hitting. Hey, what's Jalen Hurts completion over under? 16 probably.
yeah. It's probably at like 16.5. I think. I bet
I might
lower
bet
on
that.
my. I think.
I'm definitely taking whatever it is. If it's over 16, then I'm lower.
Like I bet over Pat Mahomes passing attempts. It was like this morning. It was at like 33.5 or something like that.
Mm. And that's very possible. The Chiefs have bumped up. They were 1.5. What I'm looking at now is at 2. Philly bumped up 2 because when on Monday
Six and a
morning
half.
it was 4.5 Monday morning.
Man.
So now it's
Oh, it's at
6.
6 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people are betting on the Eagles to win. I would like that. Hey, the new younger, maybe Jaden Daniels is finally the young quarterback that everybody's been looking for to try to duke it out with Mahomes and be the next. I'm the next great. But who knows? Yeah. So we got Bills, or excuse me, whoa. We got Bills Eagles losing. Let's say it that way.
Right.
We got a Chiefs Commanders Super Bowl is probably the most fun. Chiefs Eagles feels like it will be the ugliest rock fight fucking Super Bowl ever. Do we want to? Last time it was a shootout. This time doesn't feel like there's, unless the Chiefs go crazy and unless they really open the playbook up and just say, all right, here we go, turn it on. But we will see. Oh, I also wanted to bring up random shit. You brought this up. The Rockets still second in the West. It's
Just
crazy.
randomly.
It's so crazy. Have you watched them yet?
A little bit, not all the time, not a lot though.
They just have so many like just random young guys that are playing good, like Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, fucking
I get
the
more
Thompson
into my
twin.
basketball takes after football. Yeah, Thompson been going crazy
That
though.
shit crazy. Can't shoot for shit. they
He
they
definitely
just
grab a board.
yeah, the whole team is just they just running. That's a lot. Playing defense and running, and nobody can do anything. But yeah, so that's my little NBA talk. Was there anything else NBA I wanted to add in there? I don't think so. Yeah, it's not NBA time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast as much as we did bringing it to you, and we will see you next week.
Peace.